leanings on VMware. I love NSX. I kind of live NSX. I am a certified NSX guy. I teach VMware. I'm a certified instructor on VMware. So some leanings will be there, but as much as possible, I will keep it provider agnostic. So the goal for us is to understand cloud security from a perspective of who is it for, what are the threats and challenges for the cloud users. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't see that the other side of cloud, the cloud providers also have challenges. It's not only the users have threats, even the providers have threats. The whole idea of a shared model of security is very, very challenging, to say the least. And one of the most difficult transitions from on-premise to hybrid cloud to multi-cloud environments has been security. This whole conversation around security starts with users, right? What do users do? They want to browse, surf or work, right? That's all users do. Then, whenever they're doing that, we need to ensure that their data is protected. You need to do access controls and data protection, like data loss prevention and access controls, authorization. Then, when they work on SaaS apps or on-premise apps. So, the moment you say cloud, you have the three service models, right? IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, right? All of us know that. Then, from there, they also access just regular Genta, all the websites also. So, now let us, if you take cloud security as a starting point, it is in the center of that user interaction with his platforms, with his context, and with his content, right? Content, apps, whatever you call it, right? For all of us who are dealing with the back end of that infrastructure, we are worried about the platforms from what we run on. We are worried about the context in which we run on, the associated services, support services that enable us to run the platform and the applications like DNS, DHCP, IPAM, gateways, whatever. These are all contextual applications, right? And then we are worried about how do we protect the application and data itself, right? From this perspective, this is just the big picture. The key words behind security is trust. Whenever you are trying to share something with somebody, even if you are sharing physical things or responsibility, what do you need? Trust. So the issue of trust, this is the dictionary.com definition. This is not my definition. So if you look at trust, integrity, strength, ability and surety of a person or a thing. Today, the reason why Amazon is because some of those things. You trust the integrity of your provider, don't you? You trust his strength. You trust his ability. You trust his... Now if you look at the other side of it, right? It's the exact reason why small providers don't make it in the cloud world. It's very difficult to get there. So that's the reason why we have the big five. Who are the big five? Cloud big five? Anybody? Azure, Amazon, Google, IBM.
Not but the least, but you have to say Oracle.
Alibaba.
Right.
Alibaba, silent monster. Huge guy. Almost equal to these guys.
I hear he's a pretty good dancer.
Huh?
Jack Ma.
Huh, Jack Ma. Man, dangerous guy.
Yeah.
Disruptive guy. I mean, today, what he lacks is one of those things.
Chinese, right?
Yeah, that's a problem. Otherwise, it would have been a tough problem.
But if you
See, the thing with the Alibaba is, if you want bulk, that's the place. But if you want single individual retail kind, Alibaba, you don't go there.
Depends. We'll talk about that, but
We can talk.
right? My big five. Do you all agree with my big five? So now let's try and get the key thing is confidence, right? How do you build confidence? And one of the important part is confidence is not a one-way traffic, right? If I have confidence on you, still the relationship won't work. It has to be
Two-way.
so this is the second important concept, right? Let's try and see the next important thing. A lot of people have very little understanding. Why am I going into this taxonomy thing? Because I will be throwing a lot of jargon in between, and I want you to get that jargon in this context, not in any other context. Because so what is this word cyber security mean? This is again a dictionary.com definition. What are the keywords in this? Protection, data, what else? Measures, threats, data, measures, protection. Right? So we will talk about all of these things in today's topic in the context of cloud server. Right? We're going to talk about threats, we're going to talk about data, we're going to talk about measures, we're going to talk about protection. I'm going to keep it really simple, and then if you want to get into any details, more than happy. Like, love to get into details of what we talk about. So, last but not least, what is our end state? What is our focus? What do we want to achieve with all of the tools, technologies, means, methods? The fact is, someday you are going to be attacked. Someday you are going to be attacked. Someday you're going to go down. But what defines you from who wins and who loses is how fast you can come back. Do you want to drive around dented cars? So today's cybersecurity solutions are all about fixing that point of impact. You patch that software, that unit of work. What are you doing? You're just getting out, driving around in a dented car every day, day in and day out. So this is the mindset that you want to change if you want to build resilient infrastructure. We don't want to drive in dented cars. We don't want to drive in torn jeans. Unless it's a fashion.
That's a fashion.
But you know what, right? But that's the point, right? So resilience is all about this ability to spring back up, learn from what mistakes we made, and correct them for the long run. You know who's going to make us afraid? Our psyche has been impacted by 9/11. Even today, we live in fear. Not just US, all over the world. This fear psychosis is all over the world. We're always worried where the next attack is going to be. Even somebody puts in some ill-made bomb in some tube, global alarms raised. Prior to 9/11, if there was a bomb in a train that did not explode, it was a non-event. Today, every news channel covers it. Do you all agree with me?
Yes. Social media.
Forget about social media. See, our attitudes are based on our experiences, and we perceive threat that is beyond its proportions. It's more likely that we would get killed driving out of this parking lot in a car than in an aeroplane. So now, our capacity to recover, right? Our capacity to recover is not based on the resources we have, but based on our intent and our ability and our resolve to get back on track. Right? Do you agree with it? Lot of us have lots of resources. We don't apply them because our intention is not there. So this whole idea around resilience is all about intention. Is about working hard in the peace times so that we have strong willpower during war times. We have the capability and the courage to fight difficult times. So this is what I want to drive in this conversation. And that, my friends, you can do it through modern technologies like cloud automation and all that. That's what we are trying to do. I mean, it's not the only way, it's one of these ways. So, a lot of times, whenever you look at a security incident, and no matter which type of company you talk to in cloud security or security in general, people talk about, they always talk about protection. They want to create shields for you. They want to put antivirus agents, anti-this agent, anti-that agent, anti-this. It's a sense of protection. And then the other side is the same agents are supposed to detect. But how many times you've seen these agents correctly? Their remediation is, well, they leave a lot of eggs. Lot of stuff behind. Right? Garbage. Good. I was looking for that. So, the goal is to balance these capabilities. Each one of these capabilities is important. But what we feel is there's lack of balance is in the area of correction. Remediation, correction, thinking through the problem of how to get back to the original state or the best original state possible. Right? The goal is how do we get back onto our feet. In that context, cloud users have these kind of things. First thing is whenever a user goes to cloud, man, how am I going to govern my intent? Like generally, what is a policy, right? Statement of intent. So, what is governance? Ensuring your policy is complied with, applied, or enforced. Is it possible to govern?
Yes.
It is, but it requires active intent. So you will see there are a couple of words I'll keep using. See, man has been always fascinated with things that amplify his capabilities, augment his capabilities, right? So why do we make we know how to be mobile when we walk. We created bicycle to augment our ability to go faster, right? We augment our eyeglasses to see better. Like that, lot of times we have today AI, machine learning, all of them are trying to augment your decision making. If you think of those technologies to help you augment that. The other thing is augmenting perception of threat. That is the hard part. How many people are making active effort to amplify ability to perceive threat? The reason why people invest in security incident event management systems, what are we trying to do? We are trying to augment our capability to perceive threat. Right? Augment our capability to understand if there is a violation of a policy. And do intervention so that you can improve governance. Am I making sense?
Yes.
So then the next important thing is, if you want to do that, you need to have a trusted environment. If I tell the cloud provider, dude, this is screwed up, I want you to fix this portion of your shared responsibility. Now what do you get with the really big guys? It ain't my problem. You figure it out. How many times have you heard? Were you able to ever get into a conversation with a support person in AWS and change any AWS setting? If you've done it, tell me.
One thing I see that lot of transfer of risk, like each one says, okay, you take the ownership of the...
No, the classic thing, the transfer of risk is even more interesting. He says, you know what? Why don't you subscribe to Palo Alto service?
Yeah.
So if you're not happy with the VPC, Palo Alto has a service on Amazon. Why don't you subscribe to it? You can get more, you can get a better visibility into your application audit logs. Dude, I want an audit log now. So this is what we provide. If you want more audit logs, go there. Is that what you have heard in cloud?
Yes.
Big time. Big time.
So, what does it do?
Loss of trust.
But you can't go back.
No, that is the reason why you have multi-cloud environment. Now, we talked about that, right? So the idea of, when you can't trust one guy, what do? You try to hedge your trust on multiple people. You say, Amazon, you do it, man. Azure, you do it, man. Google, you do it, man. Isn't that what we do?
It's not of that there is a cost involved, right? You can get what you pay, right? We go to Amazon, we go to the other top provider because it's cheaper and they can do that. If I want to more and I have to pay more.
Not just that, even if you pay, you won't get it. This is what I'm trying to tell you. The point is, if you go to the small guy, your CFO won't trust you. Different problem.
Yeah, obviously, because
different problem, right? I can go to a local provider, colo provider, who will give all the logs you want. He'll give you access, supervisory access to his cloud firewalls also. But does your CFO trust you? Trust him?
No.
That's a problem.
The responsibility.
It has other side. We'll talk. The other one is cloud services by nature. One of the tenets of a cloud service is broad network access. Right? If you look at the 5 commandments or 5, just quick 101 of cloud, right? You have 3 service models, 4 deployment models, and 5 essential characteristics of cloud. NIST 101, 2001, 2011, right? So what are the 5?
Scaling.
Broad network access. That's one of the key ones. Elasticity. Then, come on, man, cloud.
That pays.
No.
Okay.
Chargeback, showback. Okay, that's fine. Measured or metered service. There is no concept of paying in cloud. It is only measuring or metering. Okay. Next.
Shared service.
No.
5 essential characteristics of cloud. On-demand self-service. On-demand self-service, broad network access, elasticity, resource pooling, and measured or metered service. That's it. These are the 5 tenets. So, by definition, need not be secure. Definition.
Yeah, security is not a business, right?
It's not business.
Yeah, security.
It's your problem.
Yeah, it is part of we have.
No, it's a very corny thing to say, but truth.
Security cannot overrule business.
You're right, 100% true.
Yeah,
so, but that's the point, right? Now we are living in a world where we have to.
So I have never seen any product has been kept in mind security and then they develop. They develop a product and the security will be later on.
Bolt on. This is what we want to change, right? See, as architects of tomorrow, you have more influence today with everything that's happening to change that paradigm from bolt-on security to building in security.
It's basically, I give you an example, right? For example, having alcohol, consuming alcohol is a health injury. Everyone will have it, right? we know that our limit, right? It's kind of a thing.
See,
And if you come,
so there you go, right? You know your limit.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what everybody is trying to do with security also. What is my limit? What is the pain I can bear? And to that extent, and what is the money I can invest?
Yeah.
So a lot of times that clarity isn't there. We'll talk about that. The other part is user access. Weakest part of security.
Right.
right,
Weakest part. Username, password, tokens, all of these are old school.
right,
Have to change. And shadow IT. Nobody knows how many assets you have in the cloud.
you are right.
That you can never stop.
It cannot be. You cannot control for shadow IT.
Oh, that's the whole point, right? I mean, there are some people who think that they can. So that's the whole idea about cloud access service brokers and all that. CSB.
CASB, yeah, we're talking about.
We'll talk about a little bit about them. But yes, that is a problem.
So who is doing the shadow IT?
Business.
Oh yeah, without your knowledge, everybody is doing it.
Yeah.
Without my knowledge, it's
Yeah, business.
Yeah, it is it's happening. Whether you like it or not, the moment you get a keynote template from somebody, and that fellow has a freemium model, shadow IT starts.
Yes.
Shadow IT.
Yeah, it will start even from the CA because the CA met this guy in the conference.
Oh, this is a beautiful product.
Beautiful product. Let's go for a champagne, exotic champagne, done.
Suddenly now you're dealing with information of your company in some SaaS provider with no control, no nothing. Forget about encryption, user access.
Nothing, everything done.
Just open this window and throw it out.
No,
It's not
now
gone.
it's become
It's
popular
gone.
because of the shadow. It's quick, right?
That's it.
Set up and do everything. Easy.
Yeah. So that is and now you talk about data loss and leakage.
That's after.
Freaking it is happening, man.
It's after.
You don't like it, but that happens. There's no way. Now it's like you're sitting in a boat, and there's this small hole, and there's that big hole, and there's this giant engine that somebody has removed and taken it off. So you are going to sink. But it's just the time, right? Small hole hits you, the engine will hit you, or the big hole hits you. So how are you going to change this?
You can only minimize. You can't completely seal it off.
There is, yeah.
Well,
That's a fact.
see that's exactly the thing, right? Do you understand your content?
Yes.
So first there needs to be clarity, right? And see, my goal is not to solve all your problems. I'm not paid for it and I'm not capable of it. What I can definitely arouse is questions. You know, I come from an Indian philosophy. In Indian philosophy, there is no God. And there are no answers. There are only questions. So we have one treatise called Bhagavad Gita. It's a whole set of questions and answers. That's it. There's no conclusions in it. Good questions are good answers. Bad questions are bad answers. Simple. So I want you to have enough clarity so that you can ask the right questions or good questions. So let's try and understand the fundamentals so that we can ask
Right question.
right questions, good questions. Right?
Right.
So for asking the good questions, you need to have clarity on how things work
Right.
under the hood. So I have lived my life both as a cloud user of the largest clouds, did cloud migrations, 40 terabytes of data moved to Google, to a cloud provider who provides for national securities. NSDL was our first customer for Sifi Cloud that my team built long time back. So National Securities Depositories Limited, very, very secure data. So I've lived both lives. So use me as a punching bag I will try and give my perspectives. These are not necessarily solutions. Okay? So I'll talk my problems as a provider, right? Ambiguity of responsibility. User, you're a good user. Boss, you protect your machine, man. Otherwise, I'm going to get hit by a DDoS attack. There are so many people who swipe a credit card, put vulnerable code on a cloud provider, and pray God. It's going to get hit. And guess who has to pay for it? Poor cloud provider. This is the other side of the world. No, some of you would become entrepreneurs, would create SaaS platforms and all. This is going to be your problems.
Yeah, but Ram, are you, trying to, give the clarity? What if the provider is liable for it? How much is he providing in the security
See,
space?
we talk just the next slide. We'll talk about the
Some
next
of these
slide.
people are very savvy in the AWS
Oh yeah.
aspect.
No, we talk about, we take some AWS use cases. I talk about one use case through. Okay, I'm not good. How much time do you have?
10 hours.
Okay.
You may have to.
Alright, I'll quick enough.
Because
I'm-
here is waiting very patiently.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
don't want to.
So this whole idea of protection inconsistency. So you have layers in the cloud, you have VPCs, different layers have different levels of protection. There's no consistency. Even if the provider wants you to provide a consistent framework, you don't take it. There are how many of I've seen people who have like one VPC for their entire cloud.
Right.
There are no segments, nothing. So yeah, there's a problem there. And as the cloud provider evolves, as new processes come in, as new network technologies come in, evolution itself makes the cloud provider's life risky. New vulnerabilities, new issues. Then you have supplier lock-in. I have to go to Intel only. And I have to use Microsoft license only because my customer wants it, that's it. I don't have a choice, even though I know it's not secure, I have to. There's no way. Then, my bylaws, I have to make profit. I have a conflict with my bylaws. Because if I keep protecting, where am I going to make profit?
That's what they charge the big dollars.
They don't. In fact, it is going to the bottom. If you look at the cloud pricing, it's touching zero.
Google just did it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's not viable.
The prices. Google
Now,
has
if you are a small provider of cloud, it is not viable for running a 1000 VM environment. Unless you run a 10,000 plus VM environment, you are not going to make money. Try it out. I'll give you free hardware for 3 years. You're not going to make profit.
That's a fact.
Yeah, reality. And then you have bad integration, non-secure administration APIs. This is very normal. Every application has got administration APIs. They don't even have HTTPS on it. Forget it. Anyway, so I don't want to belabor this, but this is something that you have to understand. Very simple, right? So, what is the focus? If you look at simple security itself, who controls on-premise? You control it. When you go to cloud, it's federated. So it's something and compliance,
Still us.
you define the policies, you control the policies. Now you see, all the other side you see trust. It repeats. Make sense?
Yes.
So, even pay per use, even data privacy, all of these are security concerns, right?
Right.
Serious concerns. All of them, how many times you talk about trust?
Pretty much.
50% of the times.
Right.
Or more actually, but I just put it across like this. This is real. If you look at today's most enterprises, it is not one cloud. It is that many clouds. Azure, Amazon, Rackspace, Software, everybody, right?
Yeah.
So, now how do you handle this?
Hire big people with big money.
No.
Hire me.
The point is, you have to get away from these diverse operational models. You have to figure out what can be your unified, whatever that model may be. It may be based on stack that I am advocating, like I am advocating, let's say use common orchestration, use VMware orchestration for all clouds. That's one of my prescriptive ways. You may have a different way. Maybe you want to use Terraform or one of these Ansible or one of these tools that run that. There are goods and bads for each of these approaches. Next is, you have to live with the fact that security is going to be a distributed problem. It is not going to be centralized. You are not going to control it from single console. The days of security are over. I am going to have one button to push everywhere it happens. No way. You will have kind of a hub and spoke distributed security model where you have to express intent somewhere and enforce intent somewhere else. Then the third one is, there's no common infrastructure. So you have to live with the fact that you have to learn some amount of multiple infrastructure components, right? So from this model, where do we go? If you take a very simple application that's deployed in AWS, this is how it is deployed, right?
Right.
You have some web server, you have one VPN, you have some